Hello, RDA family and everyone else watching. I just want to talk to you tonight about two things. Firstly, there is a huge defamation campaign going on with the mainstream media when it comes to the protests outside Parliament, protests in general, the freedom movement in general, RDA, and also Craig Kelly and the United Australia Party. This is obviously a planned attack, and I've just got some things I want to say about that. And secondly, I want to talk about the apartheid that is looming at midnight tonight. We've already been going through in Melbourne. We've already been going through an apartheid in Melbourne for about 3 weeks now, but it hasn't been as bad as it's going to be as of midnight tonight. So I want to talk about that because a lot of people who have held the line are going to really struggle over the next couple of weeks with this. Excuse me. So firstly, with the medical apartheid, I'd just like to say that the amount of pressure that is being created, actually from even Scott Morrison at the moment, and from the bill, and from the protests, and from the QCs, and the crossbenchers, and the Bar Association, and the Ombudsman, this pressure is absolutely doing its job. I believe, this is just my opinion, that Daniel Andrews has opened everything up for the vaccinated in an attempt to distract everyone from the pandemic bill that he's trying to put through. Because, people who have done the right thing and been a good little citizen and gotten the jab even if they didn't want to, now have the ability to live a basically completely normal life, even though their unvaccinated friends are at home and can't do it. So it's still not a normal life, in my opinion. But people will just start living their lives and they'll forget about the issues that we're going through, and they'll probably forget about the 10% that aren't vaccinated, which I think is a lot more than 10%, by the way. But that's the numbers they're telling us. Why would they still be coercing everyone if there was only 10% of people not vaccinated? Anyway, so the point is continue to hold the line if that's what you decided to do, because it's only a matter of time until they won't be able to keep up this apartheid. If the bill doesn't go through, if Scott Morrison keeps creating pressure, if the public keeps creating pressure, then it will become too much for them to sustain this apartheid. Secondly, I'd like to note that the police cannot ask to see your vax status. Okay, I'm just telling you. That is the facts. I've called the police. I've recorded the conversation. It's in black and white. Not black and white, but voice. And so if you're at a gathering and police start asking for your vax status, you don't have to give it to them. Okay, so if there's gathering limits, take that as you will. So I just want to tell the people out there that are really scared about tomorrow. I know a lot of you have teenagers who are going to be excluded from things, who are already being excluded from things. Please let them know that this is very character building for them. It won't last forever, that there are people fighting for their rights, for their future, and that this is a turning point in history. It's a turning point in their lives, and that you are guiding them because you want what's best for them. And I think the people who are getting their children vaccinated want what's best for their children too, and that's the irony. But just stay strong. And if you're feeling isolated, please join an RDA community group. If you go onto the website, under community, you'll see community groups, and in there you can join a local group. We're going to try and have more events over the next couple of weeks all over the country so that people can start connecting, because the value of human connection is pretty much invaluable. It's scientifically proven to fight disease, basically. So I really think it's a great idea if people can catch up, and whether it's an RDA group or not, it doesn't matter. Just find ways to connect with people, please, because that's going to keep you sane. Now, the next thing to talk about is really scary, what the mainstream media is doing to the freedom movement, and their last-ditch effort of defaming the movement is by calling everyone violent, far-right, extreme, fascist, and even terrorists. I saw an article in New Zealand with a beautiful picture of a protest. There was children in the picture as well. And they were like, threats of terrorism rise as vaccine mandates come in. I mean, come on. It's really bad. And then an article was written today about some people who were allegedly charged for some threats of violence, and they just had to mention RDA and UAP. Not one reporter called me. Not one reporter emailed me or phoned me. So it's just absolutely irresponsible journalism. It's supposed to be an investigative piece, but yet no one called me. It's just insane. I've been looking for a defamation case to go after, and maybe this is the one. I've written an article to explain my stance, and also 3 days ago, I wrote an article on my website about peaceful protest and that we need to keep things peaceful. So if that journalist had done just a little bit of research, they would have realized that RDA is not to blame for any violence. And let me tell you, and I'm going to be honest, the Parliament Steps protest, the Occupy Spring Street protest, 95% beautiful. During the day, there's barbecues, there's kids playing games, there's dogs, there's music at nighttime. It's like a party over there. But then late at night, it can get a bit awkward. Okay, so I think it's really brave. People are sleeping overnight, but after midnight, there are some unusual characters there, and so look, I'm just going to tell you that, and you can do with it what you will. And just remember that this overnight protest is causing such an impact. It is so impactful. It's been on the media every day. They can't not report on it because it's never happened before. It's so beautiful to see the community coming together. They're going to try to ruin it. They are going to implant someone. They're going to put someone there to infiltrate it. It's only a matter of time. So please, everyone, have each other's backs, please. And if you see something unusual happening, go and tell someone else, get a group together and try to fix the situation. We need to be really careful with what we say to mainstream media, what we put on our social medias, and just stay focused on peaceful protest. I can understand why people are angry, absolutely. But we know the mainstream media are going to jump on any opportunity to make everyone look bad. And it's really interesting because the police are sitting there all day watching, and they're seeing these children playing cards and ball and dogs and all like grandparents sitting in deck chairs. Like, they know the truth. And then you just have this one violent, action happen, and the media just goes nuts with it. So don't worry, this is going to happen. It's so impactful that they have to do this. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk to you guys about those two things. Oh, I will talk a little bit about the bill, sorry. So Adam Somyurek was not there to vote for that, whether they were going to postpone the debate or not, but he was very close by waiting for that phone call. So he wants to come in and vote against the bill. He doesn't want to deal with any of the preliminary stuff. I think it's hilarious that Labor were so intent on this bill being so urgent. Like, it was life or death. This bill had to be heard as soon as possible. And then Adam Somyurek mentions that he's coming to Parliament, and they're like, we need to postpone the bill. I mean, come on, does it get any more ridiculous than that? I don't think so. Anyway, so it's really interesting, but I've got pretty good word that Adam is pretty strong and he knows what he wants to do, and I don't think he's going to get swayed. Obviously, my concern is that they do some deals with the Liberals, or they do some deals with other crossbenchers. Matthew Guy, who is the Liberal leader in Victoria, said he's happy to consult with the government. That makes me really angry because you can't consult with the devil. Okay, there is no deal to be made here. The bill, we don't need the bill. We don't want the bill. We don't want any part of it. And if Matthew Guy starts negotiating on amendments, that's going to be a big mistake. That's going to be a big mistake for him because the Liberals have gotten some credit over the last couple of weeks because they've actually been doing their job for the first time during the entire pandemic. So if they then backtrack, it's going to look really bad. So anyway, that's the updates, and I hope that all the crossbenchers stay strong, and I hope that we can get this over and done with next week on Tuesday or something, because I really thought it would be all over today, and I was so excited about that, and now the suspense is back. So I'm with you guys. I'm feeling the pressure. I'm not feeling well, but I'm pushing through just like the rest of you. So we're going to do that. So stay strong, stay positive. We'll get there eventually, I promise. Bye.